but most of you have said that you would not approve it unless the border is secure. What exactly does secure border mean, and can you do it in 4 years?
I'm going to do it when I begin in January of 2015. We're going to enact legislation and put priority on securing the border. Folks, between 2006 and 2012, we apprehended 1,134,000 illegals crossing our border. We think we get 1 out of every 5. We don't know. That means 5 million got through. From 2008 to 2012, we apprehended and put in our jails in Texas 141,000 hardened criminals that we identified as being here illegally. They committed were charged with 447,000 crimes, including 5,000 rapes and 2,000 murders. So the question is, and I think there is maybe a difference of opinion on this panel, we all support a guest worker program, but for me, Norma, we must secure the border first, and what that means is doing everything we can, prioritizing it is our top issue to secure the border and protect the life of Texans, the property of Texas, and defend our country. Any country that does not use its freedom to defend its freedom will lose its freedom. We must defend the border.
Next we go to Commissioner Patterson.
Same question.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's a very simple answer, and that is we have to do all of the above. The Republican Party platform of Texas calls for a guest worker program. I would also add that all 4 of us up here at one time or another have supported that. All 4 of us have publicly stated that we do not think it's practical to deport 12 million illegal aliens. So the question then becomes, if you are not going to deport 12 million people and you have no plan to do anything with those that remain until some secure the border or everybody's got a job, you are supporting de facto amnesty. We need to start securing the border. We need to implement policies that provide for assimilation, and we need to start a guest worker program because they're a 3-legged stool. Each will help the other if we do it correctly. The Republican Party of Texas adopted a platform. It's on my website, votepatterson.com. This is really semantical. When do we start the guest worker program? We need to do all of it. We need to do it now because we can't wait any longer.
Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst.
You know, Dan threw out some numbers, and we do have a problem with illegals being arrested here in the United States and housing them. That's why I sent an invoice to the Obama administration of $156 million for the cost of to incarcerate these illegals between late 2011 and the beginning of 2013. My plan on securing our border is not a plan. It's what we're already doing. I started some 7 years ago appropriating money to put assets on the border, high-altitude spotter aircraft, helicopters, armor-plated DPS gunboats, more DPS on the border. And we showed in our Operation Strong Safety in September and October of this past fall, we could shut down the whole border from the Gulf of Mexico to Laredo. And I've asked the legislature to put the resources in. So that is, it's not a plan. We need to go ahead and secure our border.
Commissioner Staples.
I can tell you that throwing money at the problem is not going to secure the border, and the border's not secure today, and that's why landowners actually reached out to me and asked for help. And that's why I developed a 6-point plan to reform our failed immigration system that starts with border security and does not include amnesty. That's why I've taken budget savings from my agency and given grants to the Department of Public Safety to use to help fund Operation Drawbridge, that has been responsible for actually apprehending thousands of individuals and confiscating tons of drugs. These are specific steps, along with retaining the services of 2 retired generals who did a strategic military assessment of the border. That's why a conservative group of landowners who live with this every day reached out to me, because politicians from both parties had let us down when it comes to border security and immigration reform. And I developed a strong plan that starts with border security, that puts more resources on the ground, and that recognizes it is Washington's responsibility, but Texas is on the front lines, and it's our problems, and we must fight for a secure border in these landowners.
We're going to go back around again on this topic, 30 seconds this time, same order. And Norma Garcia, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, can you be very specific about what you would do with the growing undocumented population already living and working in Texas? And I'm talking about those without criminal backgrounds.
Senator Patrick.
We have to go back, Norma, to this issue first, and I don't want us to skip over it, because until you secure the border, Norma, you really can't address those other issues. That is first and foremost. As long as Texas does not secure the border, then the federal government is going to sit back and do nothing. They're not going to pass real immigration reform. The mayor of San Antonio, as you know, recently just attacked me because I have a tough stance on securing the border. So, Norma, going to that question, the first question is stop the invasion, and then we'll address those questions. That's what I'm going to do as Lieutenant Governor.
Commissioner Patterson.
Well, maybe you should read the question again, because my colleague here didn't answer the question. Your question was, what do we do now? And my answer is that we have to do something. And it's enumerated in the Republican Party platform. It's enumerated in my website. Would you rather have the Border Patrol chasing wait staff or coyotes and narco traffickers? We need to separate those two populations so we can focus on the coyotes and narco traffickers and criminals. And then we can take the wait staff and provide them a work permit without a path to citizenship and no amnesty.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst.
Well, building on what Jerry said, and I think what the four of us are saying, sooner rather than later, we're going to have to address the undocumented workers that are in the United States. But the problem's never going to go away unless we secure the border. That's why some of my challenges talk and talk and talk. This is historic, ladies and gentlemen. This is really historic. We can shut down the border once and for all this year simply by the governor and the speaker joining, then the legislature, and appropriating the funds.
Time. Thank you. We're going to return to questions for all of you in just a little bit. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Commissioner. Of course.
All right. The reason why securing the border is so important is because we have a leader in Washington today that has lied to the American people. He said, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. He's come to Texas and said the border is safer than ever. Those facts are simply not true. And that's why border security must be the first thing that we do. My 6-point plan does address the others, but it does start with border security. Governor Dewhurst has thrown money at the problem. It has not fixed it. It's unfortunate. It's not going to solve it. We need a strong border security plan that listens to the landowners.
Okay, thank you very much.